Hi everyone, my name is Francesca Fragkoudi and I'm a fellow at the European Southern Observatory. Today I'm going to be telling you about a project that uses astronomy as a tool for peace and diplomacy called the Columba-Hypatia project. Now, to give you a bit of context, the project takes place on the post-conflict island of Cyprus, which is also where I'm from, which is an island in the Eastern Mediterranean, where the Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, the two main ethnic communities, have been living separated for over 45 years in a post-conflict state. The communities are separated by the so-called Green Line, with the United Nations peacekeeping force in between. Now, in 2003, the checkpoints were opened in Nicosia and in other locations that allowed people on both sides of the divide to cross over and to start interacting. However, interactions were still sparse between the two communities, and this was what gave rise to the Columba-Hypatia project. This is a grassroots initiative that uses astronomy as a tool to inspire children to be curious about science and the cosmos, while also encouraging a sense of global citizenship and a culture of peace and nonviolence. The name derives from the dove constellation, a well-known symbol of peace, Columba, and also Hypatia from Hypatia of Alexandria, who was one of the first female astronomers in historical record. And we gave this name also to celebrate women in STEM and as leaders in the peace-building process. Now, the project began in 2016 and subsequently received funding from the International Astronomical Union's Office of Astronomy for Development, as well as from other organizations. Now, the project aims to work towards achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and in particular, the ones I've highlighted here, to bring together communities separated by conflict, by engaging children with educational activities, encouraging girls to pursue a career in STEM by providing female role models, and by inspiring a sense of unity and global citizenship. Now, some of you may be wondering, why do we use astronomy for peace? What's the relation between the two? Well, of course, learning about astronomy helps us understand our place in the universe and provides us with a unifying cosmovision and a sense of global citizenship. For example, a commonly reported effect is the overview effect. This is reported by astronauts quite commonly. And astronomy can also help us feel this, which is this feeling of connectedness, where Earth and all living beings on it are part of one ecosystem. Brings to the fore how the conflicts between people become less important. Now, astronomy has been affecting our cosmovision and culture, of course, throughout human history. We now know, of course, that we don't hold a special place in the universe, that our planet is one of the many planets in the solar system, that our sun is just one of the many stars in our galaxy, each with its own planets, and that our galaxy is just one of many galaxies. So this helps us bring this humbling feeling that astronomy gives us. And yet, on the other hand, astronomy teaches us that life on Earth is precious and rare. It's the only planet that we know to host life. And this really brings to the fore and emphasizes the fragility of Earth's biosphere and the need for sustainability and cooperation. On the other hand, and this is very important, especially in post-conflict regions, astronomy is a very exciting and captivating subject. And this fascination with the sky is something that's shared across all cultures and throughout human history. So it's a really effective tool in engaging in activities in post-conflict regions. And I'll come back to that in a bit. The two implementing organizations are, on the one hand, Galileo Mobile, which is a nonprofit itinerant science education initiative, and on the other hand, an NGO based in Cyprus called the Association for Historical Dialogue and Research, that specializes on aspects such as peace education. We have 3 target groups in the project. Our main target group is primary school children. And in the next few slides, I'm going to tell you about some of the activities that we carry out in primary schools. And our other target groups are adults and the general public. So we carry out astronomy events such as lectures and star parties in the buffer zone so that people from both sides of the island can join. But also our other target group is youth and teens, for which we also carry out these kinds of activities, as well as, for example, astronomy camps. Now, the kinds of activities that we do with children in primary schools are 2 types. On the one hand, we have monocommunal activities or monocommunal days. So these are days where we go into schools around the island in Cyprus, and we carry out inquiry-based educational astronomy activities in order to learn about our place in the cosmos from the lens of modern astronomy. And another thing that we do during these days, which is very important, is we talk with the children a little bit to prepare them for the bicommunal days. The bicommunal days, or the bicommunal activities, are days where we pair up schools or classrooms from the two communities, and we bring the children together to carry out astronomy activities in the United Nations buffer zone, a controlled buffer zone, specifically at the Home for Cooperation. And here we carry out adapted astronomy activities that help to promote interaction between the children. So you have to remember, of course, that for these children, for most of them, this is the first time they've ever met anyone from the other community. And also they don't necessarily speak the same language. So of course, Turkish Cypriots speak mainly Turkish, and Greek Cypriots speak mainly Greek. So with these activities, we try and allow the children to learn about each other and break down any preconceived stereotypes. And one of our favorite activities is, for example, the Cyprus Golden Record, and you can see a picture of this in the bottom right. And now I'm going to show you a video that demonstrates very nicely some of the activities how the Golden Record activity happens.
Is to make our own golden record from Cyprus, okay? What we would want to send to an alien civilization that would be representative of all of Cyprus, okay?
This is a very nice activity. It's based on the golden record that's on the Voyager spacecrafts, which were launched in the 70s. Well, it was more symbolic than anything, but the idea was if these spacecrafts were to ever be intercepted by an alien civilization, for us to give kind of a token of Earth.
So, for example, images of people, images of natural landscapes, animals, sounds of Cyprus, which could include nature, sounds of animals, music, different musics from the island, our languages, different languages that are spoken on our island, food of Cyprus. And I want to know if you have any other ideas of topics that you think would be important.
And this is really great because it gives the children an opportunity to discuss about different things they want to send that is representative of all of Cyprus, that are actually similar between the different communities in Cyprus, but also the differences, which are very interesting. And so, so the idea is to build a golden record from Cyprus as a representation of our country, of our common land.
What's your favorite food?
Sarma.
Pupepia. Bravo.
What music do you like of Cyprus? We will find sounds, but also music.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this.
Now, in terms of our impact, we reached out to over 700 children in primary schools, youth, teachers, and members of the general public. The project has been awarded also with the Science Engagement Award of the Year in 2018 by Falling-Walls Foundation and Robert Bosch Stiftung, and has been highlighted as a flagship best practices project on using astronomy for diplomacy and peace. Of course, the real impact is quite difficult to measure in numbers, and that's exemplified by this picture here, which is a photo taken by one of the volunteers in the project of a Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot girl who had participated in the project, and at the end of the day became very close friends. And of course, that's a beautiful thing that can't really be quantified in numbers. In terms of some lessons learned, astronomy is a great tool for building bridges from grassroots initiatives like our own, but also to larger intergovernmental endeavors. Of course, we're seeing how powerful it is as a tool for diplomacy. And it's a really engaging subject with appeal that captivates children and educators' attention and really commits them to the project. And that is really, really very important in a post-conflict context where there might be some hesitancy to engage in these kinds of activities. And also, it's very important to have this multidisciplinarity, I think, that we had in the project, and also to take into account the local context. So we had the involvement of individuals with different backgrounds, and I think that was very important and key to success. For example, we had astronomers and science communicators on the one hand, but also educators, peace education practitioners, and experts working on conflict resolution that came together in the project. And that made it a lot richer and very successful, I think. And also, of course, involving local stakeholders and allowing them to take ownership of the project is really important also for its success. Now, in terms of the road ahead, of course, COVID-19 has significantly impacted us, but we hope that soon we'll be able to actually cross the checkpoints again in order to resume activities with the public. So I thank you for listening.